everybody. Welcome back. This is Getting Ahead of Ourselves. I'm Allison. I'm always Allison. It's always me. I'm always a part of this. But today we also have special guest Kyle.
I'm a special guest this time. That's awesome.
Yeah, and
I never got to be a special guest before.
And we have regular guest Thomas.
Hi.
Hello, regular guest. Appreciate you being here.
Glad to be here.
I get to be special.
Yeah. Words mean nothing.
Okay.
So
well,
if you're the constant, you just
I'm the
talk to
host.
yourself?
I'm also here every episode. I don't know why it was insinuated that I wasn't.
When you hear the topics that I come up with, you can tell that I could talk to myself.
This show is other people being trapped inside Allison's brain for 30 minutes. That's what it actually is.
Yeah.
You know, I've actually had some really enlightening conversations just talking out loud to myself. Like I pose a question, I answer it. It's gotten me through some hard stuff.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I've got 3 topics
Okay.
that I will allow Thomas to choose from.
Okay.
He is the
Is it going to
regular
be
guest.
random, or are you just going to give him like a 1 through 3 choice and then?
Yep.
Okay.
So
What a twist.
1 through 3. Pick which topic you would like.
Gotta be 3.
Gotta be 3, he says. 3 is sorry about this. Sorry to you.
I meant 1. I said 1. I said, no, I'm just kidding.
I am okay. So
It's how are you unprepared? It's a book. You have to turn a page
no.
most.
I'm not unprepared. I said sorry because of the topic.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Good sign.
The topic is, and hear
I'm
me out.
already good at this.
So this is really just a philosophical podcast more than it is anything else. And so what if
That's still too grandiose of a description of what this podcast is.
no, it's accurate. Okay, so here's a question that I offer to the two of you, probably the 2 top 5 smartest people I know.
Aw.
Like you take 2 slots, you're not 5.
Both of us are the top 5 smartest
no.
people you know.
I know
No,
about
that's what you said. I'm taking that. That is going on my wall.
All right, smart guy. If you take up 2.5 slots of my top 5 of pure intelligence, I expect you to answer this question beautifully.
Okay.
And the question is, can we evolve back into dinosaurs?
No.
Are you sure, though?
Yes.
I think you have to prove that point.
Oh, man.
So
Okay, I do
did
think
we
there are
evolve
interesting. Okay, so
from
what-
dinosaurs.
So no.
Okay.
Flat no on everything that you said so
Can
far.
you evolve sideways
I'm gonna have to
into
disagree
a
with Kyle.
dinosaur?
Kind of.
All right.
All right, let's hear your premise first, since you started it.
Okay, okay, no, we cannot evolve back into dinosaurs. 1, because we did not evolve from dinosaurs, and 2, because evolving backwards is maybe just semantically impossible. It's not the way it works. We can develop, and
think
maybe you could
semantically it's
eventually
revolving.
turn into. No, that's not a word.
Did not evolve from dinosaurs.
However, there are lots of weird, interesting things evolution can do, and I'm very excited to talk about them.
But you're not going to touch up on the dinosaur thing.
No, I am. That's me part of it. Thomas seemed like he disagreed with my statement, though, which I'm interested to hear about.
Well,
Okay, so here's my premise real fast, though. Couple 100 million years, thick legs, small arms, sharp teeth. Are we not halfway there? Like, are you sure?
I feel like this goes back to the one we had, the episode we had with Matt a little while ago, which is that you think that things that phenotypes, like physical appearances of things, and if they look similar, that they just are the same thing, but that isn't the way it works.
Okay, explain this then. Chickens.
Just explain chickens?
No, I don't want you to. Thomas, what were you going to say?
I can do that.
I don't need it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm kind of interested in how Kyle would explain a chicken, but
Chickens are dinosaurs. That's actually what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So chickens could theoretically
Evolve.
turn into something that resembled something closer to what they were before if the conditions were right, I suppose.
So I think the question is not necessarily can humans evolve into dinosaurs, but can we bring them back? Not Jurassic Park style. Maybe Jurassic Park style.
Just like trying to like breed dinosaurs back into existence through
hell
like
yeah,
very
we
selective breeding. I bet we could do that.
Yeah. You think so?
Yeah. I mean, in the confines of the wild futures that we're speculating on within this podcast, absolutely, yeah, we could like genetically breed some form of dinosaur. I mean, have you seen chicken teeth? Either of you? Do you know what I'm talking
Like
Yeah,
the
about?
they're
chicken
horrible.
have teeth?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like teeth. Chickens had teeth at one point, and the genes for them being developed is still in their DNA.
Chickens
and
have-
scientists have figured out how to reactivate it to the point where you can find chickens with like little tiny sharp dinosaur teeth.
They
There are
also-
pictures of it online. You can't just find them in the wild, but like
Aren't-
they've.
surely some bird has teeth, because I know I've seen.
Yeah, chickens have teeth in their throat. Actually,
There probably are birds that have what?
they have teeth in their throat.
Are they actually teeth, or are they like
yeah,
teeth like
I wonder if,
things?
like-
Well, I don't know. I'd see you.
doesn't
You
work
set
right now, Gannon.
you set up this standard of it. If it looks like it doesn't mean it's necessarily it. So I don't know about anything anymore. They look like
I mean,
teeth.
yes.
See, because you reject the premise that if it looks like a duck and it sounds like a duck and it quacks like a duck, that
I
it's a
do.
duck.
I do reject that
See, I-
inherent premise.
I feel like that's an unfair premise to reject. I feel like that premise is foolproof. You're telling me if it looks like a duck, it acts like a duck, and it quacks like a duck, it could still not be a duck.
If it evolved on Mars, yes. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, I see you still have some hungover feelings about the podcast with Matt.
It's the
though.
same conversation, though.
I'm over it. So what do you think? Evolving back into dinosaurs.
Evolution is basically just mutation, right? Mm-hmm. Mutation over time for traits that stick around. Mm-hmm. So, under the right circumstances, I could totally see human beings being mutated into dinosaur-esque entities.
It's true.
Especially if it were like something we work to do intentionally, although it may take like a
It would take a long
ridiculously
time.
Well, it's all evolution.
How much
though.
do we know about the human genome? Could we go around and poke and prod the right genes
true.
and start getting,
Yeah, I don't
scales
know.
and feathers?
That's kind of the
and-
premise behind, like, that's literally the premise behind the Hulk, actually.
The real
that,
question
like,
is if we do have some people who evolve back into dinosaurs, do they deserve the same rights?
why is
dinosaur
that the
rights.
real question?
I just feel like it's a question. Like, the question is, can we evolve back into dinosaurs? But there are more questions that develop around it, like what happens when we do.
Wait, are you assuming that only some people evolve into a dinosaur person, but everybody else stays the way we are now?
the
Why
test
do we
subjects.
have apes, Kyle? Explain that, scientist. Why monkeys, if evolve? But also, yeah, that's the point I'm making. I didn't mean that sarcastically. If some things can evolve past a certain
Wait, why do
stigma-
you think that certain people are changing into dinosaur-like creatures, but other people aren't?
I think it'd
Because
be
they
intentional.
worked in the lab
Oh,
that
true.
was
Like,
hit by a nuclear bomb.
Okay, so you're describing weird mutant creatures that happen now, that's not evolving into
but if they had babies and
These
those
things-
became weird mutant things that were of the same, like two
that's
weird
not-
mutant people in one.
Gannon.
Two weird mutant dinosaur people have one mostly mutant dinosaur baby.
It's a very specific scenario.
You're skipping a lot of steps here. 1 second, I need to take the squeaky toy away from my dog.
Oh, Yeah, I haven't noticed.
Well, so on a long enough timeline, if we were to like change our environment enough
Yeah.
to favor traits that are, I guess, dinosaur,
Dinosauric.
dinosauric,
Yeah.
dinosauric traits, the classic dinosauric traits, then over a long enough timeline, I mean, basically we would be.
So 2 out of 3 people think that you could turn humans back into dinosaurs.
Okay, it's not back. We weren't dinosaurs. Stop saying back.
Okay, turn it into dinosaurs from that existed in the past.
Okay, so we're theorizing like a possible future where human beings become like giants, right? Is that kind of where we're going? Like, is that sort of
Some dinosaurs are small.
what are you thinking then? Are you thinking we get scales and claws?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
what I'm.
that's a
That's what I'm.
Is that what we're
imagining.
talking about?
That's a dinosaur. I feel like that counts as a weren't
Well, okay,
raptors
so
like
so I'll say
chicken
this.
size?
I think as part of an answer to your question,
Yeah.
like a legitimate answer to your question,
yeah, these are all legitimate answers.
evolution can't ever start something new. It can only work off of what it has, right? You can only have what you have change. So we couldn't develop scales because scales are a different thing. It's a different organ, right? Like reptiles have scales because the things that reptiles came from developed scales from being like a little like single celled like
Are you saying we're too far evolved to develop something like
kind
that?
of actually, yeah. And an example of this is actually eyes. The way I have eyeballs are very similar in most creatures across the earth, and the reason is because they developed on our mutual ancestor in the ocean. They developed with water in them as part of their like the water membrane on the eyes developed so that we could see clearly underwater because light refracts through water. So if you had dry eyes in water, the light wouldn't enter correctly. We have wet eyeballs so that we can see underwater, and then we climbed out of the water, right? So our eyes had to adapt over years and years and years, and creatures split apart, and now we have reptiles and mammals and all these different creatures, but we all still have these eyes that are like watery based, and they are objectively, if you were designing a creature to exist in the air, like in the atmosphere of the earth, they're actually not the optimal way an eye would develop. But we started off with an eye that was developed to see underwater, and it just had to go from there.
So your implication is that almost, pretty much most life forms evolved from one creature for the eye thing?
Well, it's not my implication. That is the scientific understanding of how evolution
Let me
happened.
argue something else. We have eyes like this, all of us, because God has eyes like this.
I don't know where you want me to go with
No,
that.
it's okay. I think the idea is like when we see things mirrored in society, like when we see the world, like when we find similarities like that within other creatures, there is an inclination to be like, ooh, something bigger, because we are the we're the concept of a design of something greater and more powerful that would tie us all back together, like our eye membranes.
Yeah, but we're talking about turning into dinosaurs, so do you want to talk about that or God? Like, which way are we going with this?
All right, no, you're right. I'm just pointing it out. I'm just saying.
I'm just wondering why God doesn't have the optimum eye design for an above water
Honestly,
creature,
yeah,
unless God is actually a water type.
God is a water type.
No,
God can be defeated by an electricity type,
I like this.
which I think
idea.
means Zeus, right? That means Zeus beats the Christian God. Is that how that works by Pokemon rules?
Well, I'm trying to work the devil into this somehow.
Ooh, okay. All right, so I have more topic
Devil is a fire
ideas that
type,
are
clearly,
spawning
right?
as we speak.
Devil loses to God. That's
just
why
so you
God
know-
wins in
There
that
you go.
scenario.
Just
Wow.
so you know what you missed out on, the other topic, the one that you were joking about picking, that was what if we lived in a society where we could eat people like sandwiches?
Like sandwiches.
Like sandwiches.
Is it the only way in which a person can be consumed? It must be.
No, no, no.
between-
Don't
Just-
introduce new topics
Just
into
we
this.
could
This is
eat
too-
people. No. Okay, so we can't move forward with that because we're still on dinosaurs.
Anyway, my
My
point
brain's
was,
already gone.
You were saying something.
No, humans can't turn into dinosaurs if the way you're picturing it is turning into lizards, because mammals aren't reptiles. We cannot then evolve into
We're
a
too
reptile.
far.
We're too much like
But
it would
are
take
you
too long.
sure?
Now, maybe something similar. Maybe we develop weird scabs on our skin or something. But you're never going to come up with we're not going to develop scales the same way that things on this planet have scales. We're not going to suddenly start growing feathers. We don't have these things in our body that can turn into that. Now, it could turn into something else. It could turn into some extended version of what we currently are, but you're not going to suddenly veer off and start becoming new things are not going to get introduced. Evolution can only work with what it has. That's the base rule.
I disagree with that base rule.
You can't.
No, I do though. I think with time everything could change or revert potentially.
It is possible that with enough time, something that
Yep.
it could come to resemble a different kind of structure, I guess. Like your skin, if we're talking about like scales, maybe human skin could eventually come to resemble something scale-like. But it would take a very, very, very long time and very different environment standards. Like it would be chaos to get there. And even then, it wouldn't be exactly the same thing.
We're getting you there.
Like if you
Just a
came
little
down
bit
to
more.
like a microscopic level, it still wouldn't be the same thing as like a lizard skin, like here on Earth now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
So
That
if
makes
we
sense?
did evolve into a dinosaur-like thing, could we not call it a dinosaur?
You would call yourself a dinosaur?
You would call those things dinosaurs.
Dinosaur means like thunder lizard or something, doesn't it? Or that's Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like dinosaur is like a term for the thing that once
Dinosaur
existed. It's
means
not.
thunder lizard?
I think that might be T-Rex. Actually, I think Tyrannosaurus means thunder lizard.
Wow, what an
That's-
epic name.
Yeah, right.
Wild. That's so much better than T-Rex. Like, people have been naming their cars like T-Rex and like other things they love like T-Rex, but like they could have been doing thunder lizard. I love it. Okay, so
No. Okay, so no. I'm gonna pass it back to you now. So you're saying that we would turn into these abominations, and then we would
That's
refer to
very rude.
ourselves as dinosaurs?
I mean, we would refer to the things that did evolve into such thing as
No,
dinosaurs.
that's us. You're saying humans.
Yeah, but some people didn't.
Why? How? What are you talking about?
Monkeys.
What about monkeys?
I'm only making the point that things evolve at different rates, or not in
If
different
the
rates. but they-
circumstances are different, but we all universally share the same planet.
Well, we don't have
yes,
to.
you
I mean,
sent
yes,
it to,
the
like-
same planet, but dinosaurs also existed on this planet.
No, they didn't. They existed on a very, very different planet. Earth was not the same thing back when dinosaurs existed. That's why they were able to exist then. It's why they died, and it's why we exist now. It's because things changed. So, like, circumstances
What
have
were the differences?
Evolution is about adaptation. The differences, as far as I can remember off the top of my head, I don't remember fully, but I
Look,
think I've heard it
plants,
theorized
water,
that, like...
oxygen.
But no. That's the thing, though. Like, you can't... It's not just like eggs, milk, sugar, you have a cookie. The amounts matter, right? Like... It's the
Lots of plants,
I think
little water.
I think the atmosphere was a lot thicker actually back then. I think that's why creatures were able to get so much larger and be able to have such like
okay, you
bigger
say this, but
lung
like dinosaurs
requirements and,
exist now.
They don't. That is definitively
Crocodiles
untrue.
are dinosaurs. That's sort of like
Crocodiles are
that's a
crocodiles
consensus.
and have existed since dinosaurs were around because they have been adapted to they were already adapted to the changing world. The world has not changed enough to force them to change to stay alive.
Oh, because they're underwater.
Not fully. Octopuses, though, which we talked about before, that has been the case. Their environment has not changed dramatically enough,
That's
and
not
they've
a
been the same
dinosaur.
for millions of years.
Not a dinosaur.
But they've been around just as long as crocodiles have.
Yeah, but they're not dinosaurs.
You have a very specific definition of dinosaur in your head,
Again,
clearly.
looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, acts like a duck.
Is this your description of a dinosaur?
Duck. Is it not an appropriate description of a dinosaur? Because I feel like it.
No, that's what I'm saying. You're
I feel
making
like-
this description of dinosaur. What is looks, quacks, and acts like a dinosaur to you? Is it looks like a lizard? Because they probably weren't lizards. They were big birds. We've already we've established
Okay,
this.
then they look bird-like. Then they develop feathers instead of scales.
So a crocodile isn't a dinosaur either. So what is your point?
It's just a featherless dinosaur.
No, it's not.
Okay, so
Crocodiles never had feathers and never will.
okay, but crocodiles are dinosaurs.
No, they're not. They're crocodiles and they've been around since dinosaurs.
That's like
It's a different
that's
species.
like saying T-Rexes aren't dinosaurs.
No,
They're
it's not.
T-Rexes.
It isn't.
I don't understand why didn't crocodiles get defined as dinosaurs if they lived at the same time? They're just water pterodactyls, roughly. I don't understand.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there, but I do think saying why didn't they get called dinosaurs if they were around at the same time is fair. Because I don't know exactly, mostly because I don't know off the top of my head what dinosaur actually encompasses. Because there were lots of creatures around that weren't T-Rexes, right? Like a lot of creatures existed, and all the same, like there were mammals, birds, and lizards around at that time too. The things that we've come to identify as dinosaurs in like Jurassic Park popular media sense, I think mostly we've
How do you
decided
know this much about dinosaurs?
eventually turned into. I don't know.
Do you know this much about dinosaurs?
I
Like,
was
do you
a-
know the information he's presenting?
I was a male child in the 90s and when Jurassic Park movies were coming out.
That's completely unfair. Thomas also had dinosaur sheets.
At one point, I
Yeah.
had an entire list of dinosaurs that I could name.
I did too. I had the big books full of dinosaurs. It's just
I had
like
forgotten
stuff
all
that
Was a
of
you-
them.
crocodile on your list?
I don't think crocodile was one of the dinosaurs.
Rip.
Crocodiles have always been crocodiles. That's why they're special.
Okay, well, Thomas is smart. Thomas has things to say. What do you?
That's not
what is
even a
the
question.
premise- What is? Okay, so let's start off small. How do you feel about the premise of looks, walks, and quacks like a duck? It's a duck.
I mean, for the sake of classification, I suppose that work. Well, so that kind of ties back into how much could we alter ourselves to resemble DNA from something we didn't actually come from, and would that count as being that thing or being different from that thing?
Right.
So if we could theoretically,
Well, okay, so I don't think for this topic it specifically matters if we can get close enough that we look, quack, and sound like a duck. Wait, no, sorry, I got myself mixed up. I think that for the theoretical aspect of this, we don't have to have dinosaur DNA. Like, we don't have to re-evolve into dino DNA. But like in the future, we look so close and act so close, essentially, to a dinosaur that we could just call them dinosaurs.
Okay, but okay. There's a couple. I'm gonna brush past this, but it still weirds me out that you keep saying we'll call them dinosaurs as if we still exist and these are a different creature after all of humans have evolved into dinosaurs.
Some humans won't.
That's not how that works. But again, we're gonna jump past that because what I want to just.
But I thought,
to answer the question.
But some humans don't have to, because you've talked about how different things exist because they've fully evolved to the point like they're done evolving, right?
But that's
like,
because they're in different. They're separated. It's
okay. So you take the people who are going to be dinosaurs, you put them in a different society.
Okay, yeah, maybe
Okay.
as a controlled experiment.
Yes.
Really early on, like Charles Darwin coming up with the idea of evolution.
I don't think you're playing along, because the idea is how do we get people?
I'm trying to give you I'm trying to ground this at all, okay?
Yeah.
One of the examples he used was a particular kind of bird that existed on like two different islands. It was one bird that got separated onto two different land masses somehow, right? Probably the land may have physically split. This is how continents, this is why we have similar looking animals on different continents, actually, is that the continents literally split apart and different groups of the animals got split apart, right?
Yeah.
At that point, they're in two very different environments.
Okay.
And on like Charles Darwin's birds, the really small scale one, like they were the same species, except that their beaks looked completely different.
Yeah.
Because the way to get food on those two things required
I know this experiment.
different like
finches.
beak shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
Finches, that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, know this experiment.
And so that's they were the same species, but they each independently split apart because their environment was different.
Right.
Right. So the only way for humans to evolve into different things from each other would be for us to be split environmentally
That's
far
totally
enough apart.
possible. That's not even that wild of a thing. We could totally do that.
Like
Of all the hiccups in this, that's the easiest one to do.
But millions and millions of years, all that did was make some people look like us and some people black. Right?
Okay.
It takes a long time.
I know that you're saying that, but also you also claim that we all probably evolved from the same underwater creature.
We
so
definitely did.
okay, then we definitely did. If that's true, then you can't make that point and then also at the same time make the point that it would take too much time.
I guess my actual point is that by the time it finished happening, there would be nobody around to go, those look like dinosaurs, which is what you seem to think would happen.
Okay, no, you caught me up to your mentality now. I understand what you're saying. Okay, yeah.
I want to talk about this in the light of an experiment where we build a biodome. And
Okay,
we just
yeah,
throw
sure.
a bunch of people in that biodome. Ideally, it's got a little like knob that allows us to change the rate of time.
Just accelerate time.
Yeah, and then of
sure.
course like a little button that allows us to radiate them occasionally, and we just keep doing that.
Irradiate them.
That's Nazi shit. But
They all agreed prior to they really
Okay,
wanted
yeah.
to be
All right,
dinosaurs,
yeah.
or at least their ancestors to be dinosaurs.
yeah, if it's
'Cause these people
consensual,
will
it's
die,
not Nazi shit, so.
but their children will.
But yeah, no, as far as like
Also die,
for the
but-
sake
but
of a thought
eventually.
experiment,
Right.
thought
Okay.
experiment wise, where we assume everything is controlled and goes perfectly.
Why not?
It's like
Yes.
what would they turn into? I guess, right?
I feel like I was implying that in my head that this could the idea is how do we get it there?
Okay, so this is what
So-
you were suggesting is the biodome experiment.
No, but it yes.
I was
also,
trying to help
yes.
you save yourself.
I'm just
here.
saying the idea is can we? And then we think of ways that we could, and the biodome experiment is a way that we could, and I think that's reasonable.
Well, it's a thought. I mean, realistically, we can't because we also can't like ramp up time inside of a biodome.
we could ramp up time. Like we could pretend to, not pretend to. That's wrong. Not like imaginary time. Like we could fake ramping up time.
How?
Like in our
Like
imaginations.
no, I guess that no. I meant like time environmental factors. We obviously can't just like
Oh.
suddenly age people, but like Like if we want to change the environment as though time has passed, we could do that.
Well, we can just pretend that this experiment is like going on for millions of years while the rest of the world remains unchanged.
Because some people didn't. Yeah, because some people weren't. Yeah, because this is
I mean,
the
right.
experiment, right.
I mean, yeah. Biodome. They're
This
on
is
an
just
island
a
somewhere. They're on a different planet.
3
Whatever.
billion
You take people
year
as they are
passed
now
down
and you stick them in a
experiment.
different environment and hope that they don't die over millions of years. And then it's kind of like, what do they turn into? Right. That's the thought experiment.
Dinosaurs.
Actually,
It's dinosaurs.
You really hate that word.
Here's the thing.
That word means something that I don't
Nothing-
understand.
Literally, nothing is impossible.
It's like the octopus thing
But
all over again.
dinosaurs are so unlikely to develop from human being. The thing that you're picturing, a human being turning into a velociraptor,
Mm-hmm.
is so unexplainably unlikely.
You would say the same thing about fish to people, but here we are.
You know what? You might have got me.
nice.
Boom.
Okay, wait.
Now people in comments can't even get mad at me.
I want to talk about CRISPR. Are y'all familiar with
Yeah,
CRISPR?
yeah, we've
We've
talked
talked
about it
about it a
before.
couple
Yeah.
times,
So, if we can go in and change DNA with CRISPR technology,
Yeah.
why couldn't we just, completely clean slate, modify everything however we wanted, build dinosaur people that way?
For sure. I think he's got a point there.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's potentially possible. I think you'd probably have to. I think if you really wanted to get it there faster, you'd have to introduce outside forces, though. Like, I think trying to, like, I don't think there's enough. Sorry, there definitely isn't enough in a human's DNA now to activate to move it toward being a dinosaur. Like, I feel like you'd have to go like Lizard from Spider-Man kind of crap, where you inject lizard DNA or whatever.
Yeah,
No.
and just add some
Figured
stuff.
it out. Here's what happens. We need another meteor to hit the Earth. The Earth changes dramatically enough that everything about the way see the way that Thomas is looking at me. Everything about the way that the Earth exists changes. Atmosphere changes, plant life changes, everything changes. And we have no choice except we just devolve into dinosaurs. Because
You have no choice.
Oh, crap.
You had to do it.
the world changes.
We're either
enough.
all going to die or we spontaneously turn into dinosaurs.
Spontaneously, I mean, over time, as the Earth has completely changed, now we can evolve into dinosaurs. Okay, so I see that dinosaurs are obviously too extreme, but
Yeah,
we got here.
It's just very
we
unlikely.
got here, so we could evolve.
I'm also I'm
How absurd could we evolve into that would make you happy that isn't a dinosaur?
Robo-dinosaurs.
Ooh.
Body modifications.
No, but that's a whole nother way to come
to
at
make
this.
us
is like,
quack and walk and look like dinosaurs.
yes, that's a good.
And then by Allison's definition, we are now dinosaurs.
I
That
just
was like
asked-
Allison going, all right, fine, here's the ball. And then Thomas jumping through is like, mine.
No, it's
just
brilliant.
running down the field with it.
Again, I ask vague premises on purpose so we can figure out how to get there. I said how. He says robo-dinosaurs. Very hard to argue with that logic. It's completely fail-proof. If you turn people into robots, you turn those robots into dinosaurs, we get there way faster than anything else.
What are you talking about?
I said it perfectly, so I don't know what you're asking.
Okay, yes, if we rip human consciousness from our body and install it in a different thing, that probably is faster than waiting for millions of years of evolution on the infinitesimal chance that we somehow turn into something resembling a brontosaurus.
Consciousness could still exist.
I didn't say that it wouldn't.
You said
That
we
wasn't
rip
my
ourselves from
point.
consciousness, then we turn ourselves into robots, and then...
No, that was my description of what do you think turning yourself into a robot looks like?
I'm just saying this is a futuristic future in which multiple things could happen, including robot consciousness.
What are we
And then
talking about?
Eventually, I'm explaining his premise. I don't understand the
Is
confusion
she?
here.
I think so.
Yeah, he didn't think that hard about it.
I'm just envisioning myself being a velociraptor with dreads,
Yeah.
because that's what I would choose.
I mean, how much? Okay,
That
so
would be
that's
dope.
another good question. How much of you do you have to act like a dinosaur to be a dinosaur? Neck down, T-Rex arms, thick dino trunks, a tail. Is it fair to call yourself a dinosaur? Because I really feel like it is. I really feel like that's fair. But that's because I exist on the premise of walk, quacks, and acts and looks like a duck.
I'm out. You guys finish this up.
How much time do we have left?
a minute or so.
Okay, well, I think we've done a good job. I think he's gone.
I want to go one further.
Yeah, let's hear.
So like, let's move to the Black Mirror reality where like all of our consciousness is loaded into machines.
Yeah.
And now we can choose to be virtual dinosaurs.
That's another topic that I have, very close to at least, another topic that I have. I have a lot of VR-related topics.
Oh,
so
I thought it was like
How
dinosaur.
those never come up.
You haven't picked them. I don't know what to tell you.
I want to hear about more dinosaur-related topics.
Yeah, I don't actually have many more dinosaur-related topics, but I have many topics that could evolve into dinosaur topics.
Wow.
Well, there
Yeah,
you go.
yeah. Well,
I got nothing. I can't stick this
Buddhism.
back into Buddhism at all. No, you beat
I
me.
can.
You
All right,
beat me.
I'm gonna
he's
try.
got it. He's got
Thomas,
it.
do it. You gotta keep the chain going. If this ever ends, I'm stopping forever. I can't get
Our biological bodies, our consciousness as entities transcends our biological bodies. So whether we're virtual dinosaurs or robotic dinosaurs or the mutants that came out of the biodome experiment, we are as we see ourselves to be.
Whoa. Yeah, I almost cried. That was really good. Yeah, I think that was good. All right, thanks,
So
guys.
just believe you're a dinosaur. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. No, okay. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. I think that was really good. I think we got somewhere. Oh, we that was really good. We got Kyle. I mean, we got... You're right over there? Okay. All right. All right. I appreciate the effort you put into listening to this. We will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much. And...